It's a beautiful night for baseball, and live from Petco Park in San Diego, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres in the first of a three-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Joe Davis is on assignment this weekend, of course, along with Nomar and with Oral. The Dodgers, losing 3 of 4 to the Angels this week, come to a friendlier place here in San Diego, where, of course, they won the first 3 games of the season, outscoring the Padres 25-0. And tonight, in the cleanup spot, is somebody who's gotten very hot this month, Howie Kendrick.
Listen, I think for this ball club, you look for the veterans just to play up to expectations. Let's not forget, Howie Kendrick started off on the DL, really didn't have a spring training. So for him, I think April was more his spring training. In May, well, he's hit 291 so far in this month, and that is what Howie Kendrick has done throughout his career. He's a 291 hitter, and for me, when Howie Kendrick is going right is when he hits the ball to the opposite field, staying inside the ball when they're pitching in, driving the ball to right field. We've seen that as of late, so if he continues hitting, the Dodgers offense will be in good shape.
Scott Kazmir gets a start tonight. Oral, he was great in his first outing here in San Diego and equally great in his last start, one pitch from a complete game.
Yeah, he has started to really progress. We go back to spring training, new team, National League. Then he comes up with a thumb injury. Can't really throw his changeup very well, but he continues to get better, and he is right on track. You're watching him now command the ball, not only to his glove side, inside to right-handed hitters, but really outside to right-handed hitters also. When he starts to do that, two sides of the plate with his fastball, the changeup and the curveball, I think we can start to see him go deeper and deeper into games and be more and more successful.
The Dodgers' hottest hitter these days is their star rookie shortstop, Corey Seager, riding a 10-game hitting streak. When we come back, Alana will profile Corey Seager as the Dodgers and Padres get ready to play. Friday night in San Diego as the Dodgers and Padres get ready for the first of this 3-game series. The Dodgers begin the night 21 up, 21 down, 3.5 behind the Giants, who are hosting the Cubs this weekend. The Padres at 17-25 trail San Francisco by 7.5. Our closed captioning tonight is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. We're awaiting the Padres to take the field. San Diego's lost 4 in a row. The Dodgers have lost 4 of their last 5. Of course, here in San Diego, the Dodgers began the season on the right foot, winning 3 and outscoring the Padres 25-0 and out hitting them 34-11. Dave Roberts, there's his bench coach Bob Guerin, and here is the starting lineup he has put together courtesy of Honda. Kike Hernandez will be leading off in left field, to be followed by Justin Turner and Corey Seager. Seager riding that 10-game hitting streak. Howie Kendrick, Oral and Nomar talking about him. Kendrick having a good month of May after a rugged beginning in April. Trace Thompson is in center field tonight. Yasiel Puig in right. Yasmani Grandal making the start at first base. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. Scott Kazmir pitching and batting ninth. And with the lefty Christian Friedrich making the start tonight. Utley, Peterson, and Crawford on the bench. And Adrian Gonzalez still has the back issues, but they're expecting him back tomorrow. You're looking at the 28-year-old lefty Christian Friedrich making his second start of the year.
Well, Friedrich was a first-round draft pick back in 2008 for the Colorado Rockies, and when he was called up in 2012, he was predominantly a starter, made 16 starts that year in 2012. But then in 2015, 2016, predominantly back out in the relief situation, had 68 appearances as a reliever for the Colorado Rockies. Now he's over here with the Padres. This is his second start for the Padres. In his first start, he went 6 innings pitched, but he walked 6 through 115 pitches in those 6 innings. So he had a little trouble with the strike zone, but he only gave up 1 run in that loss against Milwaukee. So he comes at you with a fastball that hovers about the low to mid-90s, slider, curveball, and a changeup.
Dodgers have seen Friedrich, of course, before with the Rockies. He had made 10 appearances against the Dodgers, all in relief, 7 earned runs in 7 innings.
Yeah, with the struggle with throwing strikes in his first outing, I really believe these Dodgers, Kike Hernandez, a very aggressive hitter, look the middle of the plate, but make him throw strikes. Almost 50% of the pitches he threw in his last outing were balls. So he's had trouble locating the strike zone, and with the Dodgers looking for offense, you can't just get offense without getting strikes.
Well, the Dodgers, of course, have hit much better on the road this year than they have at home. On the road this season, the Dodgers at .262, averaging more than 5 runs and 9.5 hits per game, as opposed to 3.5 runs and 7 hits per game back at Dodger Stadium. There's Turner Ward in conference with Howie Kendrick. Kendrick in the cleanup spot tonight. As Kike Hernandez steps in, Kike's at 197 with a couple of home runs. He's making his 13th start of the season in left field. Kike, of course, has fared well against left-handers. And here's the first pitch of the game. There's a strike, 0-1. Hernandez with 15 hits in 76 at-bats. So we're underway, first of 3. Turner on deck, Seager to follow. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez.
Kike trying to find his way offensively, and of late, a lot of times it looks like he's trying to get 3 hits in 1 at bat. Just kind of needs to trust his ability, because he has a lot of it.
1-2. Well, you mentioned that Friedrich threw 116 pitches in his first start of the season. 51 of them were balls. So here's the 1-2.
He started off really well in the first 2 pitches. Like we were talking about him being wild, and then he goes to extreme with those 2 pitches after that.
The 28-year-old left-hander. So Hernandez quickly works the count full. swings at ball 4. Defensively for the Padres tonight, Brett Wallace at third base, with Alexi Ramirez and Adam Rosales up the middle. Will Myers at first base. Derek Norris behind the plate. Wallace getting more playing time with their new skipper, Melvin Upton Jr., John Jay, and Jose Perella in the outfield. There's Andy Green at the ripe old age of 38. So what is Justin Turner thinking? You've got Friedrich struggling to find the plate. Are you aggressive? Do you lay back? What do you do?
What you end up doing is you end up cutting the plate in half. Or if you want to cut it in quadrants, whatever your strength is, you can actually make the pitcher throw into your strengths, because if he's having trouble throwing strikes, I don't need to worry about his command, or I can eliminate the outer half if I feel like the inner half is really where I'm looking for it, and really force him to go in there. And don't go after his pitch until he can prove he can throw a strike on the outer half, or wherever you feel like you can't cover or isn't your strength.
Friedrich behind 3-0, and Turner takes a 4-pitch walk. And immediately, Derek Norris is going to go out and try to calm the nerves of Christian Friedrich.
And I know in the dugout you really can't see. You know, we have a better idea because we're seeing on the monitor how close those pitches were, or how far off they were to say Justin Turner and into Kike Hernandez. But you're going, okay, you're asking Kike for feedback, even though he struck out. Listen, was that a ball? Was he finding the plate? Was he struggling? So you know when you can come up that you can have that plan that I just talked about before of maybe cutting the plate in half.
So Kike, who struck out on what appeared to be ball 4. Here's Seager taking outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 11 pitches, 8 balls.
And the misses are all up. He hasn't recognized his own pattern and made an adjustment.
Padres have the shift on for Seager. During his 10-game hitting streak, .381. There's a strike. So Corey on the year, .289, 7 home runs and 21 runs batted in. You see the shift. Only Ramirez on the left side of the infield. Outfield is straight away. Seager with the bunt, throw down to second base, and Norris with the throw, and Turner is forced out at second.
It was a good idea, especially with the shift. It was just the execution is just what it was lacking there, is the fact that he didn't really get it over there. He recognized that it didn't have to be a perfect bunt, but it just had to be away from 2 people. One the catcher and the other one the pitcher. And unfortunately, it was too close for the catcher to make the play.
So now 2 out, and Howie Kendrick stepping in. Kendrick up to .222. Of course, got off to a terrible month of April. And he lines up base hit into left field. Kendrick .291 this month, and his average just went up a tick.
How he picks on the first high one he sees. He was over there watching the first few hitters, seeing the pattern of the pitches, concentrated on that pitch up, Nomar, and slapped it into left.
Well, when he's going, we were talking about earlier, when he's going well, he's going to right field, but he'll turn on one, even if it's on the inner half. So, speaking of a guy who's been turning on him, Trace Thompson coming up.
Trace with 6 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Dodgers with an early threat. Friedrich missing outside. Thompson in his last 14 games at .308, 5 home runs and a dozen RBIs. Starting in center with the lefty Friedrich on the hill tonight. Peterson watching. 2 balls and no strikes.
Watching batting practice today with Trace Thompson in the cage. He peppered the right side of the cage. Didn't even get the ball out of the cage because he was trying to stay so far inside and let the ball travel in batting practice. And then after about 3 swings, he started to pepper the right field area. Really concentrating on keeping his swing short and working to the opposite field.
That's a good round. Apropos being here in San Diego, that's what Tony Gwynn used to do. He used to really try to hit the cage away from him. Just to, like you said, to allow that ball to travel.
3-0 to Thompson. Friedrich needs a new GPS, or at least a visit from Darren Balsley, his pitching coach. What does the pitching coach do or say to a young pitcher at the moment who can't find the plate?
Well, you really want to go out there with something that you've told him in the past, in a side work or in spring training, that has worked as a tool. You don't want to take a tool out there that is brand new to him, brand new to the catcher, and he's like, where is he taking me? So you watch him throw when they're doing really well and pick up a few pointers and then use that when you go to the mound.
Alfonso Marquez, the home plate umpire, in his 17th big league season.
Are you asking the umpire right there, can you give me the ball with the stripes? The one you gave me before had all the balls in it.
Now here's Puig. Dodgers have the bases loaded. He's got 1 career grand slam. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Remember, the first 3 games of the season, the Dodgers outscored the Padres 25-0 and out-hit them 34-11. So the Dodgers would surely like to get off to a big start here tonight. But Puig behind now, 0-2.
Very hittable pitch. Missed his spot. They were trying to come in off the plate. 0-1 count after a breaking ball, and Yasiel just swung through that one.
Bases are loaded. The Dodgers with a chance here in the first. Friedrich's 21st pitch. He'll be at 22nd.
The other one he swung through, and that one he just missed. That was supposed to be one that was a breaking ball that they're trying to, that back foot breaking ball where you would like it in the dirt so he can swing over it, and that was in the middle of the plate. And that's one you want back as a hitter.
Seager, Kendrick, and Thompson, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. The Dodgers have Friedrich on the ropes. Puig on 0-2. Pops it up. And that's the second baseman, Adam Rosales. Dodgers threaten a hit, 2 walks, leave 3. Scott Kazmir getting ready for his 9th start of the season when we come back. 39 in July has put this lineup together, with John Jay leading it off and Derek Norris behind the plate. Will Myers, Melvin Upton Jr., Brett Wallace at third base. Alexi Ramirez, Jose Pirela is in right. Matt Kemp has been slumping. Adam Rosales on his 33rd birthday, starting at second base. Christian Friedrich pitching and batting ninth, and the 32-year-old left-hander Scott Kazmir making his ninth start of the year.
Coming off his best start of the year, 8 2/3 against the Cardinals, just give up a home run to the last hitter before he got taken out. But he is throwing the ball much better. The arm speed is really good. His splits are really good. They're equal. That means the changeup and the breaking ball have both been effective.
Jay at 284. And quickly Kazmir ahead, 0-2. Kazmir in his first start of the year here in San Diego. No runs and 1 hit in 6 innings through 75 pitches, struck out 5, did not walk anybody. And in his last start against the Cardinals, went 8 2/3. To first base. There's Yasmani Grandal. Grandal starting at first base tonight. Not the first time by any stretch. His 38th career start at first base. Adrian Gonzalez still has that balky back. They hope that he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. They got Kendrick, Seager, and Turner rounding out the infield. Hernandez, Thompson, and Puig in the outfield as Derek Norris steps in. Will Myers on deck. And Kazmir. In the short right. Grandal going out, and wouldn't you know it. Baseball's Murphy's Law.
But he might be playing first base, but he got to catch a pop-up like a catcher. He just turned around, had it come back to him.
He actually looked very calm and in control on this, and this is not an easy play.
No.
Over the shoulder, he makes it look really easy, but he was the only one who could make that, because that was too far for Yasiel. How he couldn't get there. He was the only one and makes a fine play.
And had no mask to throw away. 2 out and nobody on. The ball always finds you. So quickly 2 out. And Will Myers stepping in. Myers at 258.
And you go over and play first base for the 38th time in your career, and then they leave you all alone with the shift. You got it, big guy.
If you get another pop-up, it's all you.
For Yasmani Grandal, it's his second start of the season at first base. He started against the Marlins on April the 25th. And so the Dodgers hoping that Gonzalez and his back will be good enough to go tomorrow. Well, a perfectly positioned Corey Seager throws a perfect strike to Grandal, and a perfectly good first inning for Scott Kazmir. We go to the second. Grandal naturally will be leading off.
To lead off the top of the second inning for the Los Angeles Dodgers, was involved in all 3 of the outs there in the bottom of the first inning at first base. Of course, he's over at first because Adrian Gonzalez, still dealing with that lower back tightness, has missed the last 4 games. Should be back in the lineup tomorrow, but this is what you're missing when Adrian is out. He's consistently in the lineup, a tremendous as far as reliability and dependability. Only 17 games missed since joining the Dodgers back in August of 2012. 1,628 games played since '06, most in Major League Baseball. Don Mattingly used to say, high in production, low in maintenance, guys.
Boy, that's the truth. And Yasmani Grandal, of course, came over in the deal from San Diego for Matt Kemp. Kemp tonight has the night off. He's been struggling. So here's Grandal, his homecoming. He's already been busy in the first inning. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Grandal, 3 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Scoreless in the second. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ellis on deck, Kazmir to follow. Friedrich on 2-2. Call strike 3. Second strikeout of the game for Friedrich. It's the first out of the second.
Breaking ball to Yasmani, didn't think got down to the strike zone. Strike zone tells us it barely did. And so does Alfonso Marquez behind the plate. Yasmani doesn't have as much time to talk to the home plate umpire playing first base.
A.J. Ellis.
The other thing, though, too, Yasmani has to be aware of, and A.J. Ellis, you can't really argue. You can't get these guys thrown out because they're each other's backup. You don't have a catcher just sitting over there on the bench.
On 1-0. The bench tonight consists of Utley, Peterson, Gonzalez, and Crawford, and Adrian is unable to go. So the pickings are slim on the bench tonight. 2-1 to A.J. Ellis. To the right side, Will Myers. Two gone, and Kazmir coming up.
I think you see the short bench for the Dodgers right now because they wanted a deeper bullpen to see if they can find some combinations down there to get that portion of the team on track. Dave Roberts talking about different roles, had a meeting with Chris Hatcher today to kind of boost his confidence.
Kazmir with 2 out. Takes high and in, 1 ball and no strikes. 1 for 12. Well, with the bullpen being as inconsistent as it has been, Chinwe Sao called up. Pitched an inning the other night. So the bench is a bit of an issue for Dave Roberts, Alana.
Well, I can tell you that the bench is going to be short, Charlie, at least through the Cincinnati series. Dave Roberts saying earlier today that he thought that he has enough position players that can play a variety of different roles to be able to keep the bench short through Cincinnati.
All right. We will go to the bottom of the second. Scoreless from San Diego. night here in San Diego as we go to the bottom of the second. And time to take a look at the Coors Light cold hard facts. Well, the Dodgers opened the season on the right foot here in San Diego, outscoring them 25-0, out hitting them 34-11, sweeping the 3-game set. So good recent memories for the Dodgers as we get ready for the bottom half of the second inning. It's going to be Melvin Upton Jr., Brett Wallace, and Alexi Ramirez. Reason to smile as Dodgers look back fondly on that first series down here. Melvin Upton Jr. to lead it off. Upton at .266 with 5 home runs and 16 runs batted in. This is a night in which Matt Kemp is not starting. Kemp has really struggled, so he's got the night off. Upton in the cleanup spot in left field. Kazmir delivers a strike on the outside corner. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is Scott Kazmir.
It's a good sign when you see Scott start to own that outside corner to righties. He's a little different in the way that as he gets zoned in, it's easier for him to zone into the inside portion of the plate with right-handers. The third attempt out there just misses. Kind of like Clayton Kershaw, really loves that fastball into righties is kind of the place where they begin their arsenal.
Upton is done. First strikeout of the game for Kazmir.
4 pitches away, really going away from Upton's strength, which is really low and in. That ball's down the heart of the plate, but he's still kind of pulling off of it. When Upton has hurt us, it's been that low and in breaking ball and the low and in fastball.
Brett Wallace stepping in. He's got 3 home runs. Dodgers began the night 3.5 behind the Giants, and the Cubs have taken their power hitting machine to San Francisco, and at the top of the second they've got a 5-0 lead over the Giants. Chris Bryant's hit a 3-run home run, and Jake Peavy has been knocked out. One ball, 1 strike to Brett Wallace with Alexi Ramirez on deck. Giants began the night 3.5 in front of the Dodgers and Rockies. Arizona 6 games off the pace. San Diego 7.5 back.
What were the Giants riding with? An 8-game winning streak? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
They got a big hill to climb tonight. That 5-0, and it's Jake Arrieta on the mound.
Kind of like the Cubs' chances, do you?
Arrieta threw 1. Has got a no-hitter.
3 balls and a strike to Wallace with Ramirez on deck. Kazmir in search of his 4th win of the year. Padres with their first base runner of the night. Ramirez over in the American League had a pretty good time of it against Kazmir. The Dodgers will face the Cubs a week from Monday at Wrigley Field.
So we will play the Mets on that road trip and then go to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to see the Dodgers go into that road trip on a winning streak.
Yeah.
And starting right now. And that's really how you make up a lot of ground. And
Ramirez says he was hit by a pitch. Andy Green talking to Alfonso Marquez.
Cut fastball inside. Looked like he got it.
Like it might have grazed him a little bit.
The left thigh.
Third base umpire Larry Vanover is the crew chief, and they're going to have a look at it. Well, it didn't take long.
This is the angle you can see. It looks like the ball does change direction a little bit as it keeps going in. Right there, and then kind of goes back into the catcher's mitt.
So the Padres, with an anemic offense, their .226 average, lowest in the National League, put together a rally here in the bottom of the second with a walk and a hit batsman. This is Jose Pirela, a recent call-up, 6 for 36, and he takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kazmir struck out Upton to begin the inning, walked Wallace, and hit Ramirez. Pirela's been back up for about 2 weeks. 1-1.
2 really good fastballs out there, low and away. Get 1 for a strike, 1 for a ball. You're in the right part of the order to erase both these base runners. Getting down to the bottom. Look for a ground ball.
Oh, nice stuff by A.J. Ellis behind home plate, getting in front of that ball.
Keep the double play in order.
Getting that body. That was a tricky hop there. Usually when it's breaking that way, you know it's going to break back the other way into you, and it really didn't come back all the way, and he was still able to look like it kind of skipped on the ground, and he was still able to keep that in front.
2-1. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Padres were pretty well convinced that Matt Kemp was going to play, not going to play tonight, because he hasn't been hitting for the last week to 10 days. At first, they thought Christian Betancourt was going to be in right field. Well, he was taking some fly balls out there today, and he wasn't doing too well. And so he was a last-minute scratch, and Pirela was inserted. And it gets past Ellis, and the runners advance.
I don't know if AJ got crossed up, but he surely will tell you he should have had this. Sure looked like he tracked the ball like it was going to be a fastball and he was just going to catch it. But that's a pretty long discussion right there. Maybe it was about signs, and also now it's about on a 3-2 count, first base open, looking for a strikeout, save that runner at third.
Pirela at the big league level has 8 strikeouts in 36 at-bats. You're looking at Adam Rosales is on deck, and he's a .169 hitter. Kazmir on 3-2. Well, that's the second out of the inning. It is a big one.
They decided they could beat him with a fastball away. I think this ball's a ball, but it's borderline. Pirela just protecting. Kazmir beats him to the spot.
Well, that was a good pitch because it, like we talked about, it also, because you have that base open, you know that you can go after it, and then now that you got that strikeout, it sets up here for the intentional walk.
The rules committee today, in fact, was talking about for next year eliminating the 4 pitches for an intentional walk. Just take your base as a way to pick up the pace of play.
And, you know, I'm not a – this is a reason right here is an example of why they should keep it. Because you have a man on third base, and you're always like, well, there are some pitchers who really have trouble with this part, doing an intentional walk. So you might have a pitcher throw it away and possibly get a run scored. Or if you get rid of it, you're like, oh, you can just get on there. I mean, how long did that really take? That didn't take that long. I think there's other things in this game that do that.
To speed up.
Yeah.
As you and I were talking earlier, Roger Clemens could not throw 4 intentional balls. Couldn't do it. I saw any number of times where there was a wild pitch involved. Now here's Christian Friedrich who swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
And there are times where you see a pitcher who's just right in the zone or throwing well, has the command, and then they're like, all right, you know this situation, let's just do an intentional walk. And then he kind of loses that release point.
Yep.
And then there are those times when you have a relief pitcher who comes in, and he'll throw the intentional walk and be completely out of rhythm for the next batter. But it's at the discussion level.
Well, the reason the reliever comes in and then intentionally walks him because they want the reliever to face the hitter, and there's a possibility of a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle, so you want to have the option on the defense to change your pitcher. So everybody goes, well, why don't you just have your starter or the first pitcher do the intentional walk? Well, you wanted the relief pitcher who's coming in to pitch to a batter, and you do that, get that out of the way with having him first intentional walk. Good guy.
So anyway, that's up for discussion.
That'll be interesting if it's you just can hold up 4 balls, he gets first base. Does that count as the reliever or the pitcher throwing to a batter?
On 1 and 2. That was a swing I suspect Friedrich would rather have back.
But he's still alive.
That's right.
So
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. We're in the bottom of the second. Two and 2.
I mean, Oro, you see somebody take a swing like that and he's late. You're thinking, well, I can just challenge him with your fastball?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
You don't want to speed him up. Now in 2-2, I'm throwing it right down the middle with a little movement.
And so is Kazmir, and a base hit into center field. Wallace scores. The throw to third's not going to be in time as Ramirez scores, and the Padres take a 2-0 lead.
Well, you don't want to get to 3 and 2, and you definitely want to challenge him. But this ball, I think, pretty much hits his bat. Just off the end, and one of the uglier swings you're going to see, but he put the bat on the ball. Gave himself a chance.
And his first 2 career runs batted in. First and third, and John Jay's coming up. And Jay's been outstanding, hitting with runners in scoring position this year. He's 13 for 26, batting .500 with runners in scoring position, and Kazmir, this is outside. Derek Norris on deck, and Jay bunting it up the third baseline foul. 1-1.
I think we're starting to see the league adjust back, the offensive players. We're starting to see more bunt attempts. We've seen, what, 3 attempts in this game so far?
Especially because you see more of the shifts, or you see, you know, such as this. You don't have a shift here, but you have the pull. You have the third baseman way off the line. You're seeing the corners playing off more, so you're seeing those bunt attempts, and that's what you should be doing.
Yep.
1-1 to Jay.
And the defense is in the right place until the data starts to shift. And the only people that are going to change the data are the hitters.
Jay grounded to first in his first at bat. Now 3-1. The inning for Kazmir began innocently enough by striking out Upton. But then he walked Wallace. Ramirez hit by a pitch. Pirela would strike out. Rosales the intentional walk. And Friedrich with a base hit. Knocked in 2. Now it's a full count.
Well, the hit by the pitcher kind of breaks your heart, but then you got to get right back up on the beam and finish this inning off. Get your team in the dugout. Don't let this spiral out of control.
Scott Kazmir now at 42 pitches. He threw only 8 in the first inning. This is going to be the 35th pitch of the inning coming up.
If Jay would get on it, you probably see Rick Honeycutt come out and visit just to give him a blow.
On 3-2.
Whoa. I don't know where that might have been just off the plate. That looked like a really good pitch by Kazmir.
And here comes Honey.
I guess when you throw 36 pitches in an inning and a lot of them been balls, you just don't get that pitch.
Right. You know, we know pitch counts. We know how prevalent and how important they are over the course of a game now, and we were just talking about, you know, speed ups for intentional walks. Well, when you're looking at the pitch count, you're a team. The intentional walk, those 4 pitches, do they really count? We're counting them as against their pitch count as the total pitches, but do you really count those as pitches when you're considering taking a pitcher in and out? Right.
Derek Norris has 3 career grand slams. And is 2 for 6 in his career against Kazmir. No balls and a strike. Norris popped to first in his first at bat. Bases are loaded. Rosales, Friedrich, and Jay. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Kazmir gets ahead, 0-2.
You already made your offense climb a hill, but you got to get them in the dugout here so they don't have to climb a small mountain. Base hit here scores 2 for sure. With 2 out, the runner's going to be moving.
0-2 to Norris. Kazmir's 39th pitch of the inning upcoming. And only 1 hit for the Padres. Well, he gets out of the mess that he created for himself. Padres come up with a couple of runs, 1 hit, leave 3. We'll go to the 3rd. To the top of the third will be the top of the order. Kike Hernandez, Justin Turner, and Corey Seager. As Scott Kazmir in the second inning, 39 pitches, 19 for strikes. Walked 3, 1 intentional. Looking a bit shell-shocked. Hernandez, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat, takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
We've talked many times over the course of this season where we haven't seen the consistency or maybe the offense picking up the pitching staff picking up the offense. And right here, after that type of inning, it'd be nice to see the offense kind of pick up Kazmir, at least get 1 on the board for him.
Two and 1 to Hernandez. Drilled to left center field. That's well hit. And that's going to roll to the wall. Hernandez on his way to second base, and he will hold there. A leadoff double for Kike Hernandez here in the third.
Remember, he swung at ball 4, 3-2 count in first at bat. This one, he makes sure it's down lower, and he puts a great swing on it.
Really nice swing by Kike. Head down, staying on it, driving it, getting a ball over the middle of the plate. He knew he was, after his last at bat, he was frustrated with himself. He knew he had swung out ball 4, went after chasing a guy who's struggling, and it looked like that at bat. He did exactly what we were talking about. Listen, I can just wait for him to give me my pitch, attack my zone. He gets one and he attacks it.
Turner walked in his first at bat. 1 ball and no strikes. Justin at .233 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. One and 1. Seager on deck and Kendrick to follow. Two balls and a strike.
Down 2, third inning. Is he shooting the ball to the right side or just hitting for himself in offense?
I think you should just hit for yourself in offense, especially with a guy who's having trouble throwing strikes right now.
To the right side and right at Rosales.
But if it goes to the right, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those where you're not necessarily saying, well, I'll just give myself up here or just think that. But I'm thinking, okay, you got a couple guys, especially you're the heart of the guys who can knock people in the heart of your lineup.
And the other side of the coin is you don't expect the Padres to score a lot of runs because they just don't. They're 12th in the league in runs scored, dead last in batting average, and dead last in on-base percentage. But Andy Green, there's Mark McGwire right behind him, bench coach.
Well, you've always said, Nomar, that when a guy's in a slump, man on second and no outs, where you can at least go back to the bench with doing something positive, you get the hit or you get the guy over. It really helps you kind of mentally start to climb out of your slump.
Well, you definitely feel like you help the team. But when you really feel good is if Corey, the guy behind you, gets the job done and knocks him in.
And Seager's got a 10-game hitting streak. Fly ball to right, and that makes it an 11-game hitting streak. Seager's on his way to second base. Jose Pirello is frozen in time for just an instant. And that allowed Seager to get his double.
Well, this ball is up in the zone, and he's able to get the barrel of the bat to the ball there. And he drove that ball, very similar to what Kike did driving that ball. And granted, like you said, Pirello was frozen out there, but that ball was scalded. He had no chance at that ball.
As Corey's been going through this hot streak, he has been less and less collapsing his back leg and having that natural uppercut. He is now staying on top of those high pitches.
Howie Kendrick takes the way outside. So Seager with the double, his 12th of the year, now has 22 runs batted in. Seager hitting .386 during the streak. And Kendrick, after a miserable month of April, has been red hot in May. Singled in his first at bat. Breaks his bat. And Rosales will throw him out. Seager will go to third, 2 gone.
That was interesting because the way how he looked at it looked like he thought he might have squared that ball up. And maybe it did just get off the end of the bat. Just when he looks at it, because there are times where we've seen that is definitely off the end of the bat, but we've seen where guys have squared it up and the bat still kind of break that way. And I was wondering if that was one of those times, but it wasn't. That off the end of the bat for sure.
Trace Thompson with 2 out. Seager the tying run 90 feet away. Trace walked in his first at bat. Nothing in 1 to Thompson. 6 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Now it's 0-2. Trace in his last 14 games hitting .308. With 6 home runs. Loop to right and foul. Thompson 4 for 20. 200 with runners in scoring position, and the tying run in Seager at third. One ball, 2 strikes.
Trace Thompson starting to look like another young guy, Corey Seager, in the batter's box. Very calm. The game is very slow for him.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ramirez throws him out. Corey Seager continues to be the Dodgers' hottest hitter. With a double to right, his 22nd run batted into the year, he extended his hitting streak to 11 games. the third inning with his 4th double of the year, and he'd promptly be knocked in by Corey Seager's 12th two-base hit of the year. The Dodgers back to within 1 as we go to the bottom of the third, and Will Myers leading it off. He bounces short in his first at-bat as Kazmir misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. It'll be Myers, Upton, and Wallace. One and one. So the first inning, Kazmir skated with the greatest of ease. 8 pitches, 6 strikes. But then a 39-pitch torturous journey in the second. That included 3 walks and a hit batsman. All in all, it could be worse for the Dodgers. They're down only 1.
It's a good opportunity net for Kazmir to really get back on track. Because you have that first quick inning, and then, all right, you have one where you struggle, but your team, your offense got 1 on the board for you. You're like, all right, now if I can have that other quick inning, get back on track and get back into the rhythm of this game and get that offense swinging again.
I can vouch for that feeling as a pitcher. The shot we had of Scott after the last inning where he was just looking kind of blank stare off, and he feels like he has really good stuff, and he does. He's just kind of slightly off in his rhythm in that second inning, but when your offense gets you that run, get you a little shot of adrenaline, put you right back into the competitive mode, and he can lock right back in here.
Right now, they're concerned because somebody got hit with that foul ball. It's Kazmir looking over there, and I think it was a little kid that got hit. Oh.
No more than 3 or 4.
So Myers steps out of the batter's box. Well, there's nothing a hitter can do. Nothing anybody can do. Now the 1-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. So Kazmir with his 3rd strikeout of the game. On Monday, when the Dodgers host the Reds, the first 40,000 fans back at Dodger Stadium receive a Dodger neck pillow courtesy of Emirates Airlines. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Four strikeouts for Kazmir. Upton rolls it to first. Brandal will take it himself. So quickly 2 out. And Brett Wallace coming up.
2 quick outs and restore your pitch count to something that's manageable. Get your team back in the dugout after scoring that 1 run and cutting the lead in half.
Brett Wallace, a first-round pick of the Cardinals in 2008. Finally made it to the big leagues with the Astros. Been basically an up-and-down guy. Last year, 64 games in San Diego. Spent all of 2014 at AAA and half of 2013. One and one with 2 out and nobody on. Kendrick starting at second base tonight is about a half a dozen steps on the outfield grass. There he is. Now Kazmir falls behind 3-1. And for the second time tonight, Kazmir walks Wallace. That's the 4th walk of the night.
Really interesting how he looked so sharp in the first 2 batters, and then against Wallace, all of a sudden he just talk about losing the release point, right, Oral?
He just lost his rhythm right there. I'm sure it's a little mechanical fix, something he's making adjustments because his misses are not in the same place, so he's not repeating the same mistake. He's trying to make an adjustment.
Ramirez hit by a pitch in his first at bat. Lost one to right. Puig is there. That's that. No runs, no hits, and a walk. We head to the fourth with Puig leading it off, with Grandal and Ellis to follow. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the Bacon-licious sourdough bacon ranch combo. Only at Jack in the Box. Willie Randolph and one of the toughest outs that ever lived, Tony Gwynn. Yasiel Puig will lead it off in the fourth inning. Grandal and Ellis to follow. And Puig bangs a base hit into left field. Did that swing tell you anything no more?
Well, he got a hanging breaking ball and he was ready to attack it. So it's always nice to get that hit so you can get some type of confidence. You know, a lot of people have been going, oh, he's been swinging early. He's, you know, not patient out there. Well, first pitch swinging, he attacks it. He's got an incredible average over the course of his career in the first pitch. He's over a 360 hitter on the first pitch. So why not attack it? It's more mechanical than it is actually, you know, him swinging at the first pitch. You know, it was a strike. He attacked it. Got a knock.
Puig has stolen 3 bases this year. Nice scoop by Norris. Grandal hitting at 200.
Remember last year, Yasmani got off to a slow start, and what flipped the switch last year was that he stopped taking. He really started being more aggressive and attacking the ball, like Nomar, you said, with Yasiel. And I think that he's going to come out of this. He's really starting to feel better at the plate. He's just not seeing the results yet.
2-2.
But those are the ones that frustrate you as a hitter.
Yeah.
Because you're feeling good, and then you're seeing a pitch that you know you should hit or handle, and you miss it. Now that's what starts playing with your mind.
Ellis on deck. Puig at first. 2-2 to Grandal. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Friedrich has had difficulty finding the plate tonight.
You almost get a sense it's just a matter of time before the Dodgers can kick it in against them. Grandal, who came to the Dodgers in the deal that sent Matt Kemp south. Three and two. Puig leading off first. Not going, and Grandal fouls it back.
It's a good battle right here for Yasmani. It was a good check swing earlier about 3 pitches ago on a high pitch that he wanted to offer at, but held up. Now fouling off some tough pitches. This at bat right here could really kind of turn this game. Set the table here. First and second, first and third, no out.
Friedrich on 3 and 2. Puig is a perfect 3 for 3 in stolen base tries this year. There he goes. Lined into left field for a base hit. Puig is on his way to third. Puig is on his way home. There will be a throw to the plate. Won't nearly be in time. And the Dodgers have tied the score at 2.
George Lombard and Chris Woodward, the first and third base coaches, did a great job acting in concert, because when Woodward decided to send Puig, Lombard said Grandal's got to go to second. So if they try to get him at home, we get the extra 90 feet and get another guy at second base with no outs. Great piece of hitting, great base running, and great coaching.
I was so impressed by the base running by Yasiel Puig. To score from first base on a ball that the left fielder cuts off, it doesn't go to the wall. And it wasn't like he really went, it didn't even get to the warning track, didn't even get that far, and he was just hustling all the way around. Good read by Woodward to recognize the jumps and the turns that Yasiel had so he can score.
And Grandal now.
I mean, watch Yasiel here, he's going, but then he recognized it, but even with that jump, look at how he cuts this off there. Upton Jr. cuts it off, and Yasiel scores from first. That was impressive.
A.J. Ellis. 2 balls and no strikes.
Those are the kind of things that Yasiel can do to just take over the game, with the ability he has not only to swing the bat where he's been slumping, but maybe he's coming out of it, but what he does in right field and what he can do on the base pass.
And off and running with the pitch. And the Dodgers have evened the score. Ellis popped to first in his first at bat and takes inside. 3 balls and no strikes.
A nice finish to the at bat from Yasmani Grandal, battling out. Good check swings, good fouling off pitches, and then finish off the at bat with that hit.
Grandal's 13th run batted in of the year. Ellis takes a strike. Ellis with a home run and 8 runs batted in. Kazmir on deck. Lined into right field for a base hit. Grandal held at third. Never any doubt in the mind of Chris Woodward. So the Dodgers now have first and third, and still nobody out.
Good job by A.J. Ellis staying inside of that ball. The ball crept over the middle of the plate. It looked like it started like it was going to be on the outside corner, but it seemed like it cut over the middle of the plate. Didn't pull off of it. Nice base hit opposite way.
And that brings Andy Green out to talk to his pitcher. No vacancies on the mound. Everybody's there.
That's an interesting situation because we haven't seen Scott Kazmir really swing the bat well. He's attempted the bunt in his first at bat, so I'm sure there's very deep defensive discussion going on the mound as far as what they'll do if he bunts, if it's a possible squeeze or just the normal straight sacrifice. A couple different offensive plays here you can do if you're Scott Kazmir and the Dodgers. You can, if they decide to put the regular sacrifice on, you just square around early, look like you're sacrificing. But sometimes you back that up with a squeeze play. And I'm not sure that they would do that with no outs. I think they would just go for the straight sacrifice throughout this whole at bat.
Kazmir, a very good bunter. In fact, he attempted a bunt for a base hit in his first at bat. The Padres bullpen is beginning to shuffle around out there.
Well, that pick off at first base was for two reasons. One, the bullpen, and two, to see if Scott Kazmir is going to square around and bunt.
Attempting to bunt and taking it down and away. Carlos Villanueva. Going to work in a hurry. Little comeback bunt. Well, mission accomplished. It wasn't the prettiest thing ever put down, but it worked.
Well, it was a mistake by Friedrich. If he had just spun around, he could have had time to actually look Yasmani back, still turn around and go to second, a possible double play. Right here, he just take a peek, sees it, now go to second. He took too long winding up because he had a chance, because it was also A.J. Ellis over there at first base. So gift for the Dodgers.
And now second and third. Kazmir, his third sacrifice of the season. And Kike Hernandez, who has struck out, doubled, and scored a run. Dodgers looking to take the lead here in the fourth. No balls and a strike to Kike Hernandez at 2:05. Couple of home runs and 8 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. Hernandez making his 13th start of the season in left field. The ball, a strike, and an out. Out of play. Justin Turner on deck. Friedrich already a mounting pitch count. And still but one out here in the fourth. Grandal at third and Ellis at second. Infield about halfway. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez, with Justin Turner next.
Kike makes him throw a strike. I think he's going to hit it hard. He looks very comfortable in the box.
Well, he doubled the left center in his last at-bat, struck out on ball 4 in his first at-bat. Drills it to left. Just foul.
Right there. Oh, that was the pitch right there. Gets a strike, stays back on it nicely, wasn't fooled, just couldn't keep it fair.
Now he's got to fight the urge to swing at anything because it feels so good with runners in scoring position to hit a ball that solid. Wow. He feels like any ball he hits now is going to be that, but first get that strike.
Grandal and Ellis at third and second. 2-2 to Kike Hernandez. Now 3-2.
Get a strike. Don't be afraid to pass the baton to that man.
Friedrich, who has had control issues not only tonight, but this season, on 3-2. The Dodgers have the bases loaded. Third walk given up by Friedrich.
Scott Kazmir's been looking for an expanded outside corner, and Friedrich thinking he might have got one there, but Kike Hernandez with the great eye to set the table for Justin Turner.
Well, we were talking about Kazmir possibly not getting it because that one inning where he was having trouble throwing strikes, so you obviously don't get those borderline calls, and same thing here with Friedrich.
So here is Turner. And Andy Green is coming out. Carlos Villanueva continues to warm. And Green takes the ball from Friedrich. And when we come back, Justin Turner will have the bases loaded, and he'll be facing Villanueva. High school senior athlete and nominate them for a chance to be named a Time Warner Cable Sports Championship Drive Scholar Athlete and receive a $2,500 college scholarship. Go to twcschamp.com now for more information. That's Carlos Villanueva in his 17th appearance, an ERA just short of 5. And he's got Justin Turner, and the Dodgers have the bases loaded. Friedrich knocked out early. 75 pitches, 39 for strikes. We're tied at 2, and all 3 base runners, Grandal, Ellis, and Hernandez, are his responsibility. Turner has walked and bounced out. Dodgers with a run in here in the 4th, a chance to take the lead. Villanueva delivers a strike. Turner 6 for 27, 222 with runners in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh for 2 with the bases loaded. But throughout his career, Turner's been an outstanding clutch hitter. And he's got a chance here to give the Dodgers and Kazmir the lead. 1-1. 2-1. Grandal, Ellis, and Kike Hernandez. On 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos Villanueva came up with the Brewers. Spent a couple of years in Toronto, a couple of years with the Cubs. Last year with the Cardinals. 2-2. Off the glove of Villanueva. They'll get a play at the plate. Boy, there was absolutely nothing Grandal could have done about that. Now there's 2 out.
I mean, this ball was crushed. This was just unfortunate for the Dodgers. Justin Turner right back. Everybody has to freeze on that, because at first you think that because it's in his glove, and then it just pops out. I think fortunate for the Dodgers that it was just 1 out there, so they have another chance to possibly knock some runs in with Corey Seager, compared to a possible double play on that ball because it was hit so hard.
So now 2 out, and Seager, who doubled in a run, extending his hitting streak, back in the 3rd inning. Bases are loaded. No balls and a strike. Seager has lifted his average to .292. And he drills one, and it's dropped by Rosales, but has more than enough time to pick it up and throw him out. Dodgers pull all even after 3.5.
Jose Perella, Adam Rosales, and Villanueva here in the bottom of the 4th inning. A lot of speculation as to when the Dodgers may bring up Julio Urias. Time to go down on the farm. You can see why the speculation is there just based on the numbers, guys. Tonight versus Salt Lake, 5 innings, again, of scoreless baseball. Now has 27 scoreless innings going on. A 1.10 ERA for the youngster.
Just another shutout performance. So it's only a matter of time. Jose Perella is leading it off here in the bottom half of the 4th. It'll be Perella, Rosales, and Friedrich. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball, left center. Kike Hernandez is there.
What's really interesting about Urias down there is how he got a new definition in spring training about what a quality pitch is at the big league level. He didn't really do that great in spring training, but I think he learned his lesson, and he has gone down there and really applied himself to zone in on his ability and what is a quality pitch and how he can execute it. And we're starting to see the results down there.
Adam Rosales steps in, and of course now there are great expectations. There have been really from the beginning in the case of Urias, as was the case with Clayton Kershaw. And then at some point they arrive, and then it's like Alice through the looking glass. It becomes a whole new deal, and how then they are able to deal with that.
I think with Urias, and let's not forget for even Clayton Kershaw, when he was called up, he had some struggles and was even sent back down and then called up again. And I think with Urias, all the success, they want to make sure when they call him up that he can stay.
And he doesn't have to go back down anymore.
And that he's ready, and that the workload is going to be the proper workload. Is it going to be in the bullpen to keep his innings down because he's 19 years old? Is it going to be at a point in the season where the innings have been managed and they want him to start? There's definitely a plan, and his progression so far has been perfect.
A 1-out walk to Rosales, second time that Kazmir has walked him. That's the 5th walk given up by Kazmir. In 3 1/3. So Villanueva.
This is where you can get real aggressive with your bunt defense if you want. Reliever up there. Well, he handles the bat. You can charge him.
Kazmir missing inside. 1 ball, no strikes. This is Kazmir's 9th start of the season. And he misses low. Kazmir retired the Padres in order in the 1st inning. He's walked at least 1 in each of the next 3 innings. Good bunt up the first base line. Kazmir will tag out Villanueva. Rosales will go to second with 2 gone. And John Jay will be coming up. Jay has bounced to first and has walked. Jay 13 for 26 with runners in scoring position. 500. That's going to go down a notch. Kendrick will throw him out. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. We'll go to the 5th. Padres and Dodgers tied at 2. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota time is going on right now. Save big on the striking all-new 2016 Prius. See your local dealer today. Oral and plenty of nothing.
They asked me to write those things on the ball so they could take those pictures. Those aren't actual game balls.
How about your signature?
That's actual.
That's a game ball.
That's
okay.
Kendrick leads off the fifth. Tied at 2. And a call strike, 0-1. Carlos Villanueva on a relief of Christian Friedrich, who went 3 1/3. We're tied at 2 as we begin the top of the fifth. That'll be the first down.
When you start becoming gun shy as a pitcher after 2 comebackers, 3 comebackers, what is it?
I just hope our hitters that are hitting the ball that hard right back at him, Justin Turner, Howie Kendrick, Corey Seager in his last at bat, scolded one to second. The bats are waking up. They're just not getting results in the last few chances.
Trace Thompson has walked and bounced to short. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 1 hit for the Padres. This is the 7th meeting of the season between these two teams. The Dodgers have won 4 of the first 6. Of course, they swept the first 3 games of the season here, outscoring San Diego 25-0. Padres are 8 games under 500. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, you talked earlier about Trace Thompson, just how calm he looks at the plate. He really does. I mean, he took that first pitch curveball. I think he was just looking for a fastball. Gave up on that curveball, but if he gets that again, his balance looks like he'd crush it.
Like that. So Thompson 1 for 2, and Puig is coming up.
Puig's last at bat, he too got a curveball that was hung in the air that he was able to sit back on and drive.
Puig led off the 4th inning with a single to left. He'd come around to score on a Grandal hit.
Don't turn away from your TV on this first pitch. He is aggressive on the first pitch. If you don't watch the first pitch, you might have to watch this hit on a replay.
Puig this year 13 for 38 on the first pitch. That's 342. 1 ball, no strikes to Yasiel Puig.
Try to trick everybody on that one, maybe lay one down.
Puig at 238, 4 home runs, 14 runs batted in.
Is there something to having a hit already in your pocket that the rest of your at bats you're more relaxed?
Yes,
because he looks different.
Yes, this absolutely
with the hit in his pocket. He looks much better.
When you're pressing, you know, you're struggling a little bit. You're trying to look for that one to get you back on track. Now that you have it, you're like, okay. And you're trying to recall what you did to get that hit.
2-1.
Just completely different rhythm to his body language in the box. Just the focus and each movement looks a little bit more precise.
Grandal on deck. into center field. Jay's got a long way to go, and it's gone, a home run. Yasiel Puig goes the other way. His 5th home run of the year, and the Dodgers take a 4-2 lead.
You know what's funny? Yasiel hits this ball and he watches it as if he hit a home run. Then he recognizes, like, uh-oh, I better start running, because he's done that before. See how he just stops and watches it. Then he picks up, then he starts sprinting, and then he realizes, okay, I can slow down because I did hit a home run. Right here, he thinks he gets it, and he goes, uh-oh, wait a minute.
I'm in Petco.
Yes. That goes out in the first row, driving the ball the other way. You were just talking about how calm he looked, how good he looked after that first hit, maybe give you confidence. Well,
5th home run of the year for Puig. Now 17 runs batted in.
You don't usually come to Petco as an offense and say this is where we're going to get hot, but this has been the right medicine for the Dodgers. And a lot of guys, not just one, Yasiel, but a lot of guys are swinging the bat really well tonight.
One ball, 2 strikes. On the right side of the infield, the Padres are playing your basic triangle defense. Grandal has doubled and struck out a 2nd time. The Dodgers had gone 101 plate appearances without a home run after homering in 11 consecutive games. Two out and a Dodger lead. A.J. Ellis is 1 for 2. The Dodgers are enjoying their first lead of the night. And a wave of missing outside. Meanwhile, in the bottom of the 5th in San Francisco, the Cubs with a 5-1 lead. One and one to Ellis, who's 1 for 2 tonight. Lost in all of this. This is the 15th game for the Dodgers in this period of 20 games in 20 days. The 1-2.
The first off day will be the travel day.
Naturally.
A long plane flight to New York after the home series against the Reds.
that's how everybody wants to spend their off day.
When you're a coast team, that's where you spend your off days,
Yes.
in the air.
Yes, you do.
You got to be in the middle of the country to actually get an off day.
The Dodgers' only off day this year where they had nothing to do was the day before the home opener. Every other off day, the Dodgers have been traveling somewhere. Here's the 2-2. Drilled into left field for a base hit. A crackling line drive for Ellis, who is 2 for 3.
Big at bat right there. Just because he can possibly turn the lineup over here. Maybe Kazmir keeps it going, but at the same time, didn't want to Possibly have your pitcher leading off the next inning.
So the worst case scenario is that the Dodgers could start cleanly in the 6th. Kazmir, a good bunter, fouls it back, 0-1. He tried to bunt for a hit in his first at-bat, would be thrown out, sacrificed in his second at-bat. It was a Clint Eastwood. A man's got to know his limitations. Attempting to bunt again. And it rolls foul. Yasiel Puig's 5th home run of the year. A 2-run shot here in the 5th, and the Dodgers with a 4-2 lead. So Kazmir, who struggled so mightily in the 2nd inning when he threw 39 pitches, now has a 4-2 lead. With 2 out here in the top half of the 5th. And even with 2 strikes, he's thinking about bunting.
I've got to believe all these bunt attempts has to do something to do with the thumb issue he had.
Yep.
He's trying to protect it. He's able to square around and then slash a little bit. Doesn't look like he wants to make a full swing.
And that will end the inning. Yasiel Puig with a home run to right center field, his 5th of the year. And the Dodgers lead for the first time tonight. Have hit a total of 40 home runs this season. Corey Seager's got 7 of them. Peterson, of course, leads the team. Thompson with 6. Puig cracked his 5th tonight. Adrian Gonzalez sitting it out with that bad back, and the Dodgers are hopeful he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. So Puig with the 2-run shot, and the Dodgers lead by 2. Kazmir, after an iffy 2nd inning, has settled down, and now he's got a lead to work with as Derek Norris will lead it off. Inside low, 1 ball, no strikes. Kazmir has walked 5 and struck out 4. Norris, one of the strikeout victims. 2 balls and no strikes. Well hit to left center. Long way back and long gone. A home run for Derek Norris, his 4th of the year. Dodger lead cut to 4-3 for Norris, his 4th home run of the season.
Well, you get the lead, you go up 4-2, you go fall behind 2-0. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter. And Scott just came in and challenged him. See AJ's glove, he pretty much hits the glove. But Norris hits the bleachers.
And Scott Kazmir knew it. He didn't even turn around. He was just kept his face straight at home plate looking for the ball.
That was the 11th home run of the season given up by Kazmir in 50 innings. Will Myers the hitter, and he's 0 for 2. Myers has bounced out and has been struck out. A little comebacker, and Kazmir with an underhanded toss. Continue your Dodger retired numbers pin series collection on June the 4th when the Dodgers host the Braves. The pin features number 20, Don Sutton, courtesy of 76. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Dodgers 4-3 now. Melvin Upton. Upton is struck out and bounced out. This is a park where you don't expect to see very many home runs, what with the marine layer, especially at night. But each team with a home run tonight. Three 3-0 to Upton, who has struck out and grounded out. Wallace on deck, Kazmir on 3-0. Backhanded by Seager.
That's a nice play by Seager to stay with it, because that was in an area where possibly Justin Turner could have gotten to that ball, and so that's in the back of your mind to see, well, is he going to get it or not, and then to stay in rhythm, because that wasn't an easy play as he's backhanding that and where your body's going to get that ball, but he made it look very easy. It's a nice play by Seager.
Couple of crow hops before the throw. Now Brett Wallace, who's walked twice and scored a run. Just missing with the breaking ball, and Kazmir thought he had a strike.
Went into the surveyor's pose. He's almost in a tripod down there trying to line it up.
2-0. Bottom of the 6th in San Francisco. The Cubs with a 5-1 lead behind Arrieta. Kazmir still not happy with home plate umpire Alfonso Marquez. Marquez, in his 17th big league season, born in Mexico and grew up in Fullerton. Alexei Ramirez on deck. Dodgers have the shift on for the left-handed hitting Wallace, who takes a walk. That's a 6th walk given up by Kazmir, and Kazmir's not the least bit happy.
Very uncharacteristic for him, and he has not been missing by much. Just a hair on either side of the plate.
For Kazmir, that's the 6th walk of the night. That ties a career high.
3 of them to Brett Wallace.
Two out, and Ramirez coming up. Ramirez hit by a pitch, scored a run, and has flied to right. Jose Perella is on deck. Kazmir now at 87 pitches.
120 in his last outing, which is 1 short of a career high. And remember, because of the Mike Bolsinger start, he's got an extra day's rest. We're on 5 days right now.
One ball, 2 strikes to Alexei Ramirez. Kazmir with those 88 pitches. 45 balls and 43 strikes.
Outings like this are the difference between a solid year and a really good year for a starting pitcher. Finding a way to get a W when you're battling.
Pop foul, Grandal giving chase.
What an effort by Grandal going into the rail there. And you know, when you go over there, when you go into the opposing team, nobody's there to help you. Nobody's there to tell you to slow down, watch the rail. Nobody's there to catch you if you go over.
Oh, you got plenty of room.
Yeah. And then they give you that courtesy like, oh, I would have helped you after the fact.
They pick you up from the ground.
1-2 to Alexei Ramirez. Kazmir with the big strikeout, his 5th of the night. Derek Norris with a home run gets the Padres a run closer. We go to the 6th. Dodgers 4-3.
San Diego, a quick update for you on left-hander Hyunjin Ryu, who is rehabbing with that shoulder surgery. He pitched once again today in a rehab outing. Expected to make another 3 rehab starts today. 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned run, including 2 home runs given up. 44 pitches, guys. 34 of those for strikes. Pitching for Single-A Rancho Cucamonga. His 2nd rehab start of the season. He probably won't be back at least until 2 weeks from tomorrow.
So you've got Ryu coming back before too long. McCarthy before too long. Brett Anderson before too long. As Kike Hernandez leads off in the 6th. Dodgers 4 runs and 9 hits. And the Padres 3 runs and 2 base hits. Villanueva on in relief of Christian Friedrich. Kike goes around and it's 1-2. Hernandez has struck out, walked, doubled, and scored a run. Turner and Seager to follow here in the 6th inning. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Getting those pitchers back will be a good problem to have. You really can't figure out how the rotation is going to shake out or the bullpen, but the more guys you can get back that are healthy and have those kind of pedigrees, the better off you're going to be.
Villanueva pulls the string, and down on strikes is Hernandez. Villanueva's 3rd strikeout, and that's the first out of the 6th. Turner tonight has walked. Other than that, 0 for 2, fouls it back, 0-1.
The Dodgers have done a good job coming back, getting the lead in this game. But the way this game is feeling, the rhythm of this game, it doesn't feel like this is enough runs. Like, you still want to go out there and still keep putting some more runs on the board any which way you can. Also, that'll help. You know, we know the relievers have been struggling a little bit as of late for the Dodgers, but to be able to get a really good solid lead, try to relieve some of that pressure when they actually do go to the bullpen.
A ball, a strike, in and out here in the 6th. Kazmir through 5 has thrown 90 pitches, 39 of them in the 2nd inning alone. He's got a 1-run lead to play with. With 1 out in the 6th. Turner retired, 2 out. Now let's take a look at our Carl's Cam replay. Corey Seager in the 3rd inning extended his hitting streak to 11 games, knocking in his 22nd run and lifting his average to 290. So Corey is 1 for 3. Quite a pronounced shift on for Seager. Rosales like the 4th outfielder on a Sunday morning softball game. One ball, 1 strike to Seager. Padres scored 2 in the 2nd. The Dodgers came back with solo runs in the 3rd and the 4th and 2 in the 5th. San Diego run in the bottom of the 5th. And so here we are, 4-3 in the 6th inning. Corey Seager now the 11-game hitting streak. Howie Kendrick on deck. On 1-2. Into short right center. Sprinting in is John Jay. And a 1-2 inning. The Dodgers go quietly. And the Padres will have their 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters coming up in the bottom of the 6th. LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. Once upon a time, a long time ago, the managers were Trace and Bosch. And now you've got two of the youngest managers in the game. Dave Roberts at 43, Andy Green at 38. Andy will turn 39 on the 7th of July. This is Jose Pirela taking a strike, 0-1. Pirela came out of the Yankee organization. Getting the start in right field tonight. Matt Kemp has really been struggling. No balls and 2 strikes, and the Dodgers now with double barrel action in the bullpen. Kazmir at 92 pitches. Kazmir's spot in the lineup is still 6 batters away.
This is a strategy of just playing the defensive side of the ball. Watching Scott's pitch count, knowing he's had a little bit of a control issue, but he's done a great job battling through that and keeping the Dodgers on top.
Howie Kendrick, done that before. Now Adam Rosales coming up. He has walked twice, once intentionally. It's his birthday today. He's 33. Christian Bettencourt is in the on-deck circle. So he will be pinch hitting for Villanueva. Rosales on the year, 169. Takes a strike. 2-1. Giants hitting in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs and Arrieta have a 5-1 lead. Past third base coach Glenn Hoffman. Here's Hoffy.
Earlier in the game, there was a little banter between him and Dave Roberts when he was running out there to third base.
They work together here. Hoffy, of course, is a coach with the Dodgers. Kazmir about to throw his 100th pitch of the night. A little bit low.
He just spiked that one. He didn't want to hang it, that's for sure.
We talked about he had an intentional walk against Rosales. So can you subtract those 4 pitches from the 9-9, and then can you subtract that? He might want to subtract that last pitch too.
Give it a half.
3-2. That is the 7th walk given up by Scott Kazmir.
It's amazing. 6 of them. 3 against Brett Wallace and 3 against Adam Rosales.
Start your Fridays off with a bang with Friday night fireworks after the Dodgers host the Braves Friday, June 3rd. Come sit out on the field and enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Third time Rosales has been walked. Christian Bettencourt with a fly ball to left. That looks like a 2-run home run, and it is off the scoreboard.
Times pinch hitters are just they're hunting fastballs and they come off the bench. Scott's been missing down, wanting to get a strike to get ahead, but you don't want to get ahead and then go behind.
Second home run Kazmir's given up tonight. The Padres reclaim the lead. Kazmir's given up 12 home runs this year. John Jay on 1-1. On 1-2. Grandal take it. Seven walks for Kazmir. And he's given up 2 home runs. And Dave Roberts has seen enough. So Christian Bettencourt with the pinch hit 2-run home run. And the Padres take a 5-4 lead.
His last time out, Scott Kazmir exiting the game after 106 pitches, 5 2/3 innings of work, bringing on Lewis Coleman in relief, and the Dodger bullpen continues to be called upon. They've already thrown 117.2 innings so far this season. That's 12th most in the National League. So Dave Roberts again earlier today saying he didn't want to bring up another position player because he wanted the extra arm. That'll be the case throughout the series in Cincinnati. They're playing with a short bench because they have been calling on the bullpen so much. They need an 8th reliever, guys.
So that's why Chinwe Sao was called up the other day. And here is Coleman making his 19th appearance. Derek Norris is the hitter. The 2-run pinch hit home run by Betancourt has given the Padres a 5-4 lead. First pitch grounded to third, and Turner will throw him out. But the walk to Rosales and the pinch hit home run by Betancourt has given the Padres a 5-4 lead as we head to the 7th. Lead on the pinch hit home run by Betancourt is 5-4 as we head to the top of the 7th. The Padres make a couple of changes. Travis Jankowski, a very good defender, speedster in right field. And the new pitcher is Ryan Buchter, his 21st appearance. With a microscopic ERA, and opponents are hitting 136 against him. Howie Kendrick to lead off for the Dodgers in the 7th. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1 to Kendrick, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trace Thompson on deck, Yasiel Puig to follow. Kendrick is single to left and bounced out twice. Two balls and 2 strikes to Howie Kendrick. At 2 1/4 after a miserable April. He's hitting close to 300 in May. Buchter strikes him out. That's the first out of the 7th.
going to have to beat the primetime players out of the Padres bullpen, because after the home run, all of a sudden the Padres are on top, so you get a different selection of relievers, and all of a sudden they're going to head in the game. But every guy in the Dodger lineup, other than the pitcher's spot, Scott Kazmier's spot, has reached base. And a lot of them with hits. A little bit of confidence that they can come back here.
4 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. The Padres 5 runs and 3 base hits. Puig was on deck, 2 for 3, including a home run back in the 5th inning. Two balls and no strikes. Thompson tonight has walked, singled, scored a run, and bounced out. Dodgers have out hit the Padres 9-3, but trail 5-4. 3-0 to Thompson. They have the shift on the left side of the infield for Trace Thompson. Only Will Myers on the right side. 3-1. Buckner from the Pennsylvania-New Jersey border. This is outside and low ball 4. Here comes Yasiel Puig, and now it's time to take a look at the top tier play. Brought to you by Arco.
Yes.
In the 5th.
Driving that ball right center. Showing off the power, especially after having a hit earlier in this game. As you mentioned, now it's a little different level of pitcher coming out of that bullpen. So keep the confidence up, stay with the same approach, don't get too big, and keep the inning going.
Puig 2 for 3, and 2 runs scored. Nothing in 1 to Yasiel Puig. It was his 5th home run of the year, has 16 runs batted in. No balls and 2 strikes. Grandal on deck. That's Thompson at first. Buckner was with the Dodgers in 2015, signed a minor league contract that winter and was released the middle of the season. Puig down on strikes. It's the 2nd out of the inning.
Just couldn't catch up to the high fastball. Belt high right there. Buckner just challenging him with 94.
And now 2 out, and Grandal coming up. One ball and no strikes to Yasmani Grandal, who has doubled and driven in a run tonight in 3 at-bats. A.J. Ellis on deck. Two balls and no strikes. Will Myers holding Trace Thompson on at first base. Rick Honeycutt on the phone to the bullpen. Brian Buckner was originally signed by the Washington Nationals, a 33rd round pick in 2005. And then went to the Cubs and Braves organizations, the Dodgers, back to the Cubs, and now with the Padres, and having a terrific year, but missing outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I guarantee you he wasn't throwing 94 when he went in the 33rd round with this size body and being left-handed.
6'4" and 250. 2-1 to Grandal. 2-2. Grandal with 3 home runs and 13 runs batted in. Cubs now 7-1. Giants hitting in the bottom of the 8th up in San Francisco. Dodgers began the ninth 3.5 behind the Giants. Now the 2-2 off the end of the bat. Will do it again. Pedro Baez going to work in the Dodger bullpen.
A couple spots away from Lewis Coleman coming up in the batting order in case this inning continues.
Dodgers trail by a run. Padres with 1 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th. Buckner strikes him out, strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, and a walk, and a man left. 7th inning stretch. Padres 5-4. Now with a look at the 76 Dodgers calendar. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. First pitch, 7:10. Alex Wood and Cesar Vargas on Sunday. Kenta Maeda and Colin Ray at 1:30. And the Dodgers return home to face the Reds for 3. And next Thursday, fly off to New York and Chicago. And here is Coleman as we begin the bottom of the 7th. Dodgers trail by a run, and Will Myers swings and misses. It's 0-1. So the Dodgers have out-hit the Padres 9-3, but the Padres lead it 5-4. Myers tonight 0 for 3. Bounced to short, struck out, and bounced back to Kazmir. Scott 5 runs, 3 base hits, but 7 walks. Kazmir's road ERA this year is 6 1/4. Coleman will be facing Myers, Upton, and Wallace here in the bottom of the 7th. Tonight's crowd, 31,836. A chilly Friday night, 60 degrees at game time. Into center field's going to drop in for a base hit. Will Myers, the leadoff hit in the 7th.
Will Myers does a good job on this breaking ball, staying on it. Though he was out in front, his timing may not have been perfect. He was still able to watch this at the very end. It's off out in front, just kind of getting the barrel to it just enough to poke it out to center field.
Now Melvin Upton Jr. stepping in. He's 0 for 3. Myers has stolen 4 out of 5 this year. Wallace on deck. Coleman throws, and Grandal's able to keep his foot on the bag.
Lewis Coleman gets off the mound really well right here and just decides to keep his momentum. Don't plant a foot, just keep the momentum and make the throw. And by the time he gets over here and crosses the first baseline, Melvin Upton Jr. is not in the 45-foot line at all, but they still get him out.
He never was.
I wonder if he happened to pull him off, or if anything, if they still would have called him out on that one.
Well, immediately I watched
Alfonso
Marquez pointing that he was out of the line. So Wallace, he'll look at his box score tomorrow in the paper. Nothing but zeros. This is the 4th time he's walked tonight, and the 2nd time intentionally. So first and second, 1 out. The Padres with the 5-4 lead. And now Alexi Amarista is going to pinch run for Wallace. A.J. Ellis and Lewis Coleman in a brief conference as Alexi Ramirez steps in. Coleman missing outside. The Padres came into this game having lost 4 in a row. The Dodgers have dropped 4 of 5. San Diego leading it 5-4. There's a strike. Will Myers is dancing off second base like a Radio City Rocket. Now he held on a little more closely by Coleman.
Howie Kendrick and Lewis Coleman taking notice of that. There was a little inside move there in case he wants to jump off.
1-1. Well, if Myers wanted to get the attention of Lewis Coleman, that he has. Kendrick trying to keep him a step or two closer. Popped up. Out goes Kendrick. And in comes Thompson. Two out. And Jankowski with his first plate appearance of the night. Came in as a defensive replacement. And now Dave Roberts coming out. Jankowski, left-handed hitter. But Jock Peterson is going to come into the game. Trace Thompson coming out. Oh no, it's going to be Puig coming out of the game. And the Dodgers are going to make a pitching change. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. Adam Lipitor. Lefties are hitting just 136 against him this year. They're 3 for 22. He's been tough to hit against everybody. But Jankowski will bat with 2 on and 2 out. Pivotal moment of the game. Jankowski, we mentioned he's an exceptionally fast runner trying to bunt for a base hit, but that's just kind of passing the baton on to somebody else.
Don't really understand that mode. Unless he's just maybe showing to see if they would open up a hole for him, but that wouldn't make really much sense.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 on and 2 out. There is a strike. 1-1.
He has drawn Justin Turner in to look for it, so he opens up a little bit of a hole. far as being able to slap the ball over there.
Adam Rosales on deck. Missing low.
Liberatore has dominated lefties this year, and he's also done a really nice job with inherited runners, stranding 8 of the 10 that he's taken on, and here he's got 2 more.
And 2 out. 2-1 to Jankowski. There's a strike on the outside corner. 2-2. Ellis will lead off in the bottom of the 8th, and a pinch hitter, and then Kike Hernandez. Padres lead it 5-4. Myers leading off second, and Marista off first. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Off the end of the bat.
Good pitch by Adam. Come back with a breaking ball and get a strike. You don't want the next breaking ball to be worse. You want to make it better, and he does make it better. Moves it off the plate and just barely gets a piece of it. You reverse the order of those breaking balls, and that's when you give up hits.
Two and 2 to Travis Jankowski. Now it's 3-2.
Breaking ball away or fastball low and away that'll lock him up, because he'll read it as a breaking ball and it stays on the corner for a strike.
3-2. The runners will be going. Comebacker, and Liberatore makes the play. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the 8th. Padres 5 and the Dodgers 4. On in relief for the Padres. And Chase Utley is going to be pinch hitting for A.J. Ellis. Bauer grew up in Newport Beach, lives in Costa Mesa. And here is Chase Utley to lead it off. Some defensive changes for the Padres here in the top half of the 8th inning as Utley takes a strike, 0-1. Adam Rosales, who began the game, at second base, moves to third. Now Marisa takes over at second. It's 0-2 to Utley with the shift on against him. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Mauer's had a hot hand down there in the bullpen. Last few runs he's given up were unearned on a throwing error. A scoreless streak of about 9 innings coming into that.
2-2 to Chase Utley. Jock Peterson on deck to pinch hit. So the Dodgers have 6 outs left. Utley takes low and outside, working the count full.
That is where you appreciate the umpire being consistent. 3 of those balls right off the edge, and all 3 have been called balls.
Utley fouls it to the left. Utley at 292. Full count beginning the 8th. Into center field where John Jay retreats. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Now here's Jock Peterson. And Carl Crawford in the on-deck circle.
Jock Peterson been sitting on the bench, coming in to pinch hit, and if I wonder if he's trying to get loose. He was totally loose on that swing. No question about that. Trying to tie this game up, and he definitely has the ability to do so.
Squares the bunt with the shift on, and that gets the attention of Alexi Ramirez, the only defender on the left side of the infield. And now moves in a little bit closer. Dodgers trail by a run. Peterson, 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Leads the Dodgers in home runs. And the 2-1 from Mauer.
Pulled the string on him.
Nice changeup.
Been showing 94 and 95 heaters away to lefties, and this one is away, but it's down about 10 miles an hour.
Cubs have beaten the Giants 8-1. Behind Jake Arrieta. Dodgers began the night 3.5 behind San Francisco. Now the 2-2. Line foul to the left. Arrieta, 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings. He struck out 8. The 2-2 for Peterson. To left, slicing, foul.
This is where we've seen the growth in Jock Peterson with this two-strike approach, shortening the swing a little bit, using left field more. Starting to really realize he doesn't have to hit the ball 440 feet in every count, that he can shoot the ball away from the defense and stay on it longer.
And he works the count full, 3-2. Carl Crawford on deck. The pinch hit for Kike Hernandez. 1 out in the 8th. Two out.
Every pitch has been away. When this ball ends up on the inner half, I'm sure it felt very inside to Jock, just because of all the pitches he looked at during that at bat that were away, away, away.
And that one he even missed his spot because the catcher was set up away, and you saw him reach back to catch that ball. That's one where you get frustrated. If Jock didn't turn, but if you watch that ball all the way into the glove, and when you see the catcher reach back, that's when you're upset. You're thinking, how do you call that?
So here's Carl Crawford. With Friedrich starting tonight, he, like Utley and Peterson, did not start. 1-1 with 2 out. 1-2. Mauer at 97 on the last pitch. 96 on this one, and Crawford finds a hole and a base hit into center. Now Justin Turner. Who's 0 for 3 and a walk tonight.
Everybody's reached base, but Justin Turner's the only one without a hit. He would help to get one right here.
Crawford with the lead off first base. The Dodgers tonight have out-hit the Padres 10-4 and trail 5-4. In the top of the 8th. Two balls and no strikes.
Two balls, no strikes, down by a run, 2 out. Justin is looking to maybe cheat on this one a little bit.
To right field and deep. It's got a chance, and it is gone! A home run! Into the jury box. Turner's second home run of the year, and the Dodgers take a 6-5 lead. He cheated and he hit it into the jury box. Guilty.
All smiles right there. We can't wait for the selfie here with Adrian Gonzalez. Yes, that's a big selfie right there to give the Dodgers the lead here. Gets that fastball, 96.
He cheated. He was looking heater, but I'll tell you what, he stayed in his approach.
One thing is, when you cheat, or when you're looking for the heater, but look at that front shoulder. It really doesn't just come flying open. It stays in there just a hair longer so he can stay on it, so he can have enough to drive it to right field.
Turner's second home run of the year. RBIs 10 and 11. Dodgers 6-5. Seager takes outside. As is often the case here at Petco, about half the crowd Dodger fans, and boy, they're making some noise now. Seager's double tonight, extending his hitting streak to 11 games. Maurer pulls the string. 2-1 to Corey Seager. Three and one.
There's another one where you're going to hunt fastball and maybe get it started early.
Three balls and two strikes to Corey Seager. Third home run of the season given up by Brandon Moore. So the Dodgers take a 6-5 lead. The Padres this year, when leading after 7, 16-0. And the Dodgers 2-16. Well, Turner has given the Dodgers a late lead. And the two young managers, Andy Green and Dave Roberts, the wheels are turning. The 3-2, a little roller up the first base line, foul. For Turner with the hit, he's lifted his average to 234. It's been a rugged beginning for him. And the three of us were talking about it before the game, that microfracture surgery, it sounds like a little thing, but it isn't. And he's been suffering through it. Outside ball 4. And Seager with the walk.
Just because it says micro doesn't mean it was a small type of surgery.
What makes that one so difficult for guys to come back from? Here's Andy Green. No, that's Darren Balsa.
Well, it's because you're basically breaking the bone so it can re-heal itself a certain way. So you're asking the bone, you're hoping that the bone does heal properly to relieve the pain that he's been dealing with in the past. So, and you just don't know how necessarily the bone is going to heal. You're hoping, and sometimes you're hoping also that microfracture stimulates certain healing process as well. So there's a lot of unknowns when you go through that surgery.
Risk reward.
Yeah.
Howie Kendrick.
And just an example of a fracture. We have Andre Ethier right now dealing with a fractured bone, and you know, they told him everybody heals differently as well. You can't really, for Andre, you can't really say, well, here's the timetable for you.
So the Dodgers with 2 here in the 8th now have a 6-5 lead.
I'm sure they're contemplating how many outs they'll try and use Kenley Jansen for now. He hasn't pitched in a few days. And we've seen he's not just a typical 3-out save guy. But he's willing and able to come in the 8th.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 in here in the 8th inning, and the Dodgers have come from behind to lead it 6-5. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Justin Turner, with his 2nd home run of the year, goes the other way, and the Dodgers have reclaimed the lead.
the lead, and let's take a look at a Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam. And it's Justin Turner going the other way in the jury box with a man on to give the Dodgers a one-run lead. And yes, high fives, and let's not forget the selfie with Egon.
So the Dodgers now, as we head to the bottom of the 8th, make a boatload of changes. Chase Utley stays in the game at second base. Howie Kendrick moves from second to first. Out in left field, Carl Crawford. Yasmani Grandal moves from first base to behind the plate. And Pedro Baez will bat 6, and he's got about as much chance of batting tonight as we do. But there he is. And Baez will pitch the bottom half of the 8th inning with a one-run lead to protect. Adam Rosales, leading it off, has walked 3 times tonight. Baez first pitch, swing and a miss. 95 upstairs, and it's 0-1. Matt Kemp on deck will pinch hit. He's been struggling, and so to this point he's sat it out tonight. Baez misses, and it's 1-1. Much has been made around Major League Baseball about pace of game, and much has been made around the Dodgers' pace of Pedro Baez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Inside, it's 2-1.
Well, so far he's getting the ball back, getting back right up over the rubber and getting on. And it looks like he's taking to heart, trying to find a better rhythm. Only taking about 10-12 seconds in between pitches.
The 2-1 to Rosales. Fly ball, center field. Back goes Thompson, or it's actually Peterson now out there, and he makes the catch.
And off the bat of Rosales, it was hit well. And we know this park is deep, thicker air, but we've seen some home runs already hit today. Jock teasing the fans a little bit with that ball.
And here is Matt Kemp. Always dangerous, but off to a slow start. 1 for his last 16. 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th. Up high, 1 ball, no strikes. There's Kenley Jansen.
If he's warming now, that means he's available for this inning.
Into left field. And there is Crawford. Off the end of the bat. 2 out.
We went back-to-back breaking balls with Matt Kemp up there, coming off the pinch hitting of Betancourt, who ambushed a fastball when he came up to pinch hit. Kemp got a first pitch breaking ball high. This one he gets another off-speed pitch, and you see him just get it off the end of the bat, take the pop out of it. Lazy fly ball.
And a noticeable exhale from Baez after he realized, in fact, it was off the end of the bat. 2 out. And here is John Jay. 0 for 3 and a walk. Dodgers 6-5 on the 2-run home run by Justin Turner in the top half of the 8th. Again, the Giants lost tonight to the Cubs. Quickly, 2 out, nobody on. Jay Fouls it to the left and out of play. Derek Norris on deck. So for Baez, just his 9th pitch of the inning. The 1-1. Swing and a miss at 97, 1-2.
Last 2 pitches have been outstanding. Getting with a changeup and then beat him with a fastball. Varied location and varied speed by 10 miles an hour.
1-2 to Jay. Loop down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball. Ground rule double. Fan leaning over, and immediately third base umpire Larry Vanover with the call. So a 2-out double for Jay.
It's a good pitch. Jams him, breaks the bat, and just happens to find a hole. At times in the last few days, the Dodger bullpen has been snake bit by weak contact. The outing that Lewis Coleman had the other night really just got nickeled and dimed to death, and that ball right there just kind of found a hole. Jay gave himself a chance.
Derek Norris coming up.
You know you're unlucky on that. Now you just really have to regather yourself, because you're like, all right, now this is the biggest at bat, and we'll see if he's going to face him.
Dave Roberts, he's going to Kenley. The Dodgers are going to make a double switch. And Adrian Gonzalez is going to take over at first base. And here comes Kenley. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Dodgers nursing a 1-run lead. Kenley Jansen in search of his 14th consecutive save. Giving up a half a run or so for 9 innings, and opponents hitting 132 against him. Adrian Gonzalez comes into the game. He's at first base. Kendrick moves from first base to left field. And Derek Norris stepping in. Norris with a home run back in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 4. And with runners in scoring position this year, he's 1 for 30. 6-5 Dodgers, 2 out. Jansen to Norris. A strike, and it's 0-1. So the Dodgers are hoping that Jansen can record a 4-out save. Jay, great speed at second base. He's a tying run. No balls and 2 strikes.
A good cutter right there from Kenley. The first one backed up on him a little bit. Fortunately, Norris was taking, but that one he finished off. It was late breaking.
No balls and 2 strikes. Got him! 3 pitches. Norris is done. Jansen leaves a runner in scoring position. And the Dodgers take a 6-5 lead into the 9th. After the game on Access Sportsnet Dodgers, John Hartung, we swear, will be joined by Jerry Hairston Jr. and Ned Colletti. Plus, Alana Rizzo with interviews and reactions in the clubhouse coming up right after the game on Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan. Well, Kenley Jansen really has become one of the game's preeminent closers. He came in and did what needed to be done. He struck out Derek Norris with the tying run at second base and 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Kevin Quackenbush now on to pitch for the Dodgers, or for the Padres here in the 9th. And Kendrick leading it off, and on the first pitch, Alexi Ramirez will throw him out. Trace Thompson, who started the game in center and then moved to right. 1 for 2 and 2 walks tonight.
Every hitter in the Dodgers starting lineup got a hit tonight, and maybe the biggest one coming, the last hit a starter got was the home run by Justin Turner to put him on top.
2-run shot in the 8th. That's the difference in the game. The Dodgers 6-5. Puig on deck. Thompson takes a strike. 1-1. Justin Turner's second home run of the year came just in time. Here's the 1-1 outside, 2-1 to Trace Thompson. Pedro Baez, 2/3 of an inning, no runs and a hit. Jansen comes in and Finishes off the 8th inning by striking out Norris. 2-2 to Thompson. In the bottom of the 9th, Will Myers, Melvin Upton Jr. and Alexi Amarista will bat. Two and 2 to Thompson. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bon appetit.
See what happens when you take him out of the game.
Chopper to short. And here's Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian with that back issue. This is his first at-bat since Monday. Takes a breaking ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. The fact that he sat out 3 games in a row, quite unusual. Since 2006, he's played more games than anybody in the major leagues. 1,628 to be precise. He has never been on the DL in his career. Two out, nobody on in the 9th. 2 balls and a strike.
The consistent approach that you see at the plate is the same consistent approach that he takes to get himself ready for every game. He's very disciplined and he's got great habits.
Now the 2-1. Low ball 3.
Out early today, went through the full routine of batting practice, and they just wanted to make sure he get through a full workout of what he does to prepare for a game before they actually put him in the game, and he came out of that with flying colors, and they expect him to be in there tomorrow.
3-1. Now 3-2. That's what Roberts was saying to the media prior to the game. The expectation was that Adrian would go tomorrow, but he's good to go tonight.
When we came in that last inning for that double switch and going out to first base, you know that was a good sign.
3-2. A long run for Jay and Upton. It'll be Upton who will make the catch, and that will end the inning. Nothing across for the Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Kenley Jansen has a 6-5 lead to work with. trying to record his 14th save of the season, moving up the all-time list, just 6 behind Eric Gagne. And he'll be facing Will Myers, Melvin Upton Jr., and Alexi Amarista. Jansen has struck out 19 and walked 1. And opponents are hitting 132 against him. Myers stepping in to begin the 9th. Myers is 1 for 4. And it's 0-1. Myers 1 for 3 against Jansen. Upton on deck 0 for 3. And Amarista 2 for 7. Dodgers 6 runs, 11 hits. Padres 5 runs and 5 base hits. And that 2-run home run by Justin Turner in the 8th inning, the big blast. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jansen and that natural cut fastball. The 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Kenley has really become a supersized Mariano Rivera.
And we were first tipped off to him by the bullpen catcher Mike Borzello, who was with the Dodgers, and Joe Torre, who was with the Yankees. With Torre, and Borzello used to warm up Mariano Rivera all the time. Here's the 1-2. Into short center. Out goes Utley, and he can't make the play.
A very dangerous throw by Jock Peterson. Nelly was trying to make the play as there was a big round at first base by Will Myers. We have a look as Utley makes the effort here. Utley will be mad at himself that he didn't make that catch there. I mean, very difficult as he's turning around, but he was there to possibly make the play. But when Jock throws this, if it gets by Adrian, there's really nobody behind there.
And Utley took quite a tumble.
Yeah.
So Borzello used to catch Mariano Rivera, used to warm him up in the bullpen. When he came out with the Dodgers along with Torre, and he started to catch Mariano, or rather Kenley Jansen, he would say quietly, this guy's cutter is like Mariano's, and he didn't want to say it too loudly because that's crazy talk. Well, it wasn't. Upton swings and misses, and it's 0-1. So the bloop base hit for Myers. He's the tying run. And Upton 0 for 3 in his career against Jansen would be the winning run. Amarista on deck. Time called just before the toss. Upton tonight is 0 for 4. Dodgers 6-5. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Myers has decent speed. He's stolen 4 out of 5. Upton with 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Nothing in 2.
Blowing away with the cutter. Make sure you get it off the plate or go up the ladder.
Gonzalez holding Myers at first. Into right center. Back goes Peterson at the wall, and it's gone! Melvin Upton Jr. A 2-run walk-off home run, and the Padres come from behind and win it 7-6. This is the Lexus play of the game. Upton's 6th home run of the season, and Jansen surrenders his first. That's a wrap for us. For Oral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia, Parra, Alana Rizzo, Charlie Stunner saying good night and goodbye. Now it's time to send it to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Brought to you by Nissan.